Welcome to your High Vibe Business. I'm Laura DeFranco.
And I'm Donnie Bovine.
And we are here to help you create your badass high vibe business.
What does it mean to have a high vibe business? It's that business you're excited about. It lights you up and it helps you unleash that inner badass and really go for it.
You are a lover and a warrior, and you're here to change the world with your business. We will give you the strategy and resources you need to take this all to the next level.
You shouldn't do this alone. Start hanging out with other badass entrepreneurs and watch how fast your business grows.
You guys, Donnie Bovine runs a successful coaching and speaking business, and he's spent over 2 decades mastering sales.
And Laura DeFranco is an expert healer, 2 times business owner, 6-time published author, and spoken word poet.
Together, we're here to help you create your high vibe business.
All right, guys, going to be another fun round. On this episode, I'm going to let Laura really take the reins and the helm on this one because this is right up her alley. But we're going to be talking a lot about reviews and testimonials, why they're so important, and how they can be a business development tool for you in your business.
Yes, this is like one of my favorite topics ever because the energy of reviews and testimonials is gratitude. And that is super high vibe, you guys. So if you haven't already fallen in love with reviews and testimonials, both asking for and receiving them, I want you to feel that way after today. This is a way to move into a gratitude kind of energy. And, whatever is in your way, whatever is, the excuses that come up like, oh, I don't know what to write. I hear that so often. We need to forget about that at this point because any honest review is helpful to the person that you are giving it to.
Yeah,
Any thoughts about that, Don?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a couple of things. I have some head trash when it comes around to reviews. The biggest one is my writing ability. So it's not that I don't know what to say because I got a couple of tricks I use. I go steal them from other reviews and try and reword it. But, commas do not exist in my world. And misspelling is the normal. So I worry more about putting a review out there that makes me look bad because of how badly it's written. Not the words, but the grammar side of things.
Yes. Well, there's a couple things here. So we could be talking about a few different things right now, you guys. We could be talking about you read somebody's amazing book and you're going to leave a review on Amazon for them. Okay. That's a big one that we're talking about lately with the book coming out and all the authors that I know in my world. But we could also be talking about writing or speaking on video, a review for somebody who you've hired them and received a service or, been to a program and you just want to write them a testimonial that they can then use wherever they feel like using it, maybe their website, their social places and different things. So first of all, with the writing, you can leave video testimonials for people that you've, purchased their services or been to a program. Or even read their book. You were talking about the fact that maybe Amazon was going to start a video testimonial thing. I haven't seen it yet. Have you seen that?
On products, I've seen it. I haven't
Products,
seen it for
okay.
books.
So for books, I still think you have to write it, but who knows what's going to happen with that.
But if they do video testimonials, that's a game changer for me because I can leave video testimonials.
Exactly, because you can talk.
Yeah.
And you can just from the heart. You can just say, hey,
and everybody gets to see my baby blue eyes. So,
yes. So that's a know, like, and trust factor. And actually that's a real thing. Like when they get to see your face and hear your voice. Yes. There's a powerful testimonial energy inside of being able to watch somebody talk about it. 'Cause you'll get the body language and all of this stuff, right? People get excited when they love something.
Yes.
But as far as the writing, hey, someone reaches out to you and says, would you write me this? Just say yes, send it to them and say, could you please edit this for me? Believe me, the person in a hot second will say, of course I'll edit it for you. Right. And I always write my words to the person and send it with a note that says, feel free to take any parts of this you want. Like, so I let them have free reign of what, sometimes you'll have a short one, sometimes it'll be very long, and the person like can't use that long of a review somewhere. So I always just add the note, take whatever parts of this you love,
Love that.
make it, make it work for you.
So why leave reviews in the first place? So, I mean, what value will they bring me as a business owner if I leave reviews for other people?
Well, there's a couple things to talk about here. I mean, you guys have all probably been on Amazon to buy a product. And if it's a product you haven't had a personal recommendation about, you'll scroll the reviews just to see what's up with that. There's so many options we have for buying, our little black pen these days. Like, I don't know which one to buy. I need to understand what people loved. So I'll read the reviews. So you're helping other people, first of all, just with your words. But business development, when you start to do this for your entrepreneur friends, people that you love, people who really gave you some value, that is something that they won't likely forget. They're going to remember that and come back around to you when they think of somebody that is good for your business. This is how I think of it.
Yeah, I get that, but so here's the thing for me is, like a recipe, like a cooking recipe. You know, I'll do a Google search. Now, I never follow a recipe to the T. That's just me. But I want the baseline. So I'll get an idea in my head for whatever I want for dinner. I will do a Google search. I will find a recipe, and if it doesn't have a ton of reviews, 5-star rating, I'm not even going to open that recipe up, right? To look at it. But here's an
Yes.
interesting thing. I don't leave a review after I've made the dish because I've gone so far off of track from the original recipe, and I don't think it's authentic to the author to then leave them a review. But when it comes to books, I haven't led a lot of reviews in the past, and I have no good excuse like that other than I'm just lazy and I haven't done the reviews. How do you get someone like me to say to I mean,
Well, listen, I think a lot of people have already heard my best trick ever comes from a book I read, 1001 Ways to Market Your Books. I love that book, you guys. It's a great Bible if you're looking for different marketing ideas for your
and
books.
that's 1,000 ways to mark.
1001
Oh,
Ways to Market Your Books.
cool.
So yeah, so Amazon lets you leave your name and signature. So every single time I review a book, Laura DeFranco, author of Brave Healing, A Guide for Your Journey, shows up under my review. So why not go review as many books as possible where I can put my name and the name of my book? And also, there's something too about the fact that an author is leaving a review for another writer author. So there's that piece of it. Like, you know, Jane Doe left her review and Mary's and the anonymous one is below that. But then here's somebody who actually knows what the fuck they're talking about and left an awesome review, and they're an author,
What I
right?
like about that is what just ran through my head, and I never thought about it to this point. That's like a scientist endorsing another scientist.
Yes,
Right,
exactly.
right. Because you got one expert who's saying, "Holy shit, this is another badass, expert." It's the same thing in the book world because what ran through my head when you said that was, okay, this person wrote a book. Holy shit, somebody else who can write just endorsed them. There's
Yes.
that has a little bit more validity to me.
Yep.
Um, I
And
hope that it's the same for everybody else, but that's what ran through my head.
yeah, it's a great, it's just a great tool to use. So I used to think this was a chore, and I was getting asked to leave reviews a lot, and writers are great writers. So the reviews sound really good because they know how to write them. They know what
Mm.
to say. And you know what? There's no trick to this, you guys. You know what the trick is? The secret? Just get into your feels about what you loved the most. Could have been one takeaway chapter that just blew your mind. And I wrote part of a review the other day that went something like that. The chapter 9 on whatever the theme was, whatever the title of the chapter was a game changer because it taught me this. That could be part of the review or the whole review. So get out of your head that you have to be a great writer. It's really just about sharing what you love the most and what the takeaway was, because somebody reading that is going to be like, oh, perfect. That's exactly what I needed, was that thing on that chapter. Cool. I'm going to go buy that book, you know?
Yeah, no, and I love because they ask the question on Amazon a lot of times, was that helpful?
Yeah.
Or is this helpful? And, my experience with reviews really comes down to like buying technology, like when buying podcasting equipment or anything along those lines. I'm gonna go read through the reviews because I want to hear the good and bad. And a lot of times I go look for the bad reviews. I want to know, did they just not know how to fucking use the equipment? Or
Right.
was there something really shitty in there? And it saved me on a couple of books, I think, because a couple of books I was gonna go read, the negative reviews popped in there and literally said, hey, this guy spent 90% of this book talking about his accolades. And there was
Right.
5 minutes of, uh, feedback, things that work, and there's nothing new in there. It was all tangible stuff. And when you have 5 or 6 people saying that kind of same similar thing, you're like, cool, I didn't just waste $4 on a new book.
Yeah, so reviews are helpful for a lot of reasons, that being one of them. And as an author, I appreciate all honest reviews. I'm not out to have all 5 stars. I will never make everybody happy with the message I'm sharing. It's not an expectation. It's good. It's okay and good to have a couple 4-star reviews. And you've made it, you've made it when you've got your first 1-star review. My friend
Yes.
Phil said that to me one day, and I love that, fellow author friend of mine. I'm like, yeah, I guess you're right, because it's not about, if that happens to you, it's about when.
Right, right. Yeah, and that's a great point that people need to think about is when the negative comments come in, it means you got past friends and family. And I'll always harp on that. And it means that you're actually breaking loose into the marketplace. So,
Yes.
so how do I go about getting reviews? I've just written a book and I need to get all the information out there. How do I get people to actively write reviews for me?
Well, that's a really good question. And if you're, playing in this day and age of Amazon and books, and there are a lot of strategies and tactics about this. But what I was taught is that if you can get a good couple dozen handful of reviews on that book, then that's a cool thing. That's like getting engagement in your Facebook group. We've
Mm.
talked about that before. The algorithms show your book to more people, and it's the same on Amazon. The more reviews you have, the more people it helps, and they know that too. And so how do you get them is definitely the harder question. But in my world, it's about having a book launch team. And I really made an effort to build a team of people who were interested in Brave Healer and interested in the books that I was writing. And they wanted to be on a dedicated launch team that would help me with those reviews. Right now we're talking about books. Another question is, how do you get reviews just for your business, just for your
Mm.
service? Right. And I know a lot of people, it's like, oh, they say it's like pulling teeth. I can't get anybody to write me a review. Of course, we would all love if our email inbox was full of organic, reviews that people send without you like asking. Well, people aren't thinking about it.
Right.
It's not personal. They love you, but they're not thinking about it. So you have to ask. So I've asked in many ways. So we have the book launch idea for getting reviews and really asking people to be dedicated to the book thing. But for business, I messenger people. Sometimes I will email them the next time they come in for a session, or I speak with them or see them somewhere. I'll ask in person. It's very hard to turn somebody down who has been a repeat customer, right? So that person who comes back in for the third time and you're saying, hey, thank you so much for being here again. Hey, would you mind leaving me a couple of words, like a review that I can use on my website? I've really enjoyed working with you, and I think your words would mean a lot to other people. It would be really hard to turn someone down asking you like that.
Yeah, on that point, when we were doing sales training, we really struggled to get reviews for the company, not because they didn't want to. It's just not natural move for a lot of people.
Right.
And someone had told us that if you do the reviews inside of your facility, Google doesn't take them as serious as somebody who's outside reviewing in. I don't know the truth behind that, but that's what we were
Mm.
told. So what we did is we put all of our clients together and we said, let's go have lunch. And then we literally, and these were all the clients we knew loved us, loved our work, loved what we did. And we bribed them. We bribed them with freaking lunch and said, okay, lunch has started. Everybody pull out your damn phones and just start writing.
Uh-huh.
And, we got 10, 20 reviews that way for our company, out on Google. But it took us getting to an extreme measure to get people to finally write. But do that every once in a while. Grab one or two of your clients and
Definitely.
take them to lunch and say, hey, would you do me a favor? While we're sitting here, would you do a review? And if you want me to look at it, cool. If not, just post the thing.
And
Um,
people who are writing and maybe doing video testimonials or writing their reviews, here's what I want you to think about and do. And this makes it so easy. What did the person, what was a takeaway that you had or a result you had by working with them? And that is your testimonial. And
mm,
it's really makes it easy. Like, what did that person help you with? Did they help you reduce your pain? Did they help you get back to an active lifestyle? Did they give you a treatment technique or trick that you now do by yourself and have great success with? So you can take one takeaway that you got from working with the person, and that
love
one
that.
thing can be your testimonial. And it really is easy to just describe what that was, be excited, use your emotions about how that changed things for you. That's the best
No,
testimonial
I
ever.
love that. I love that. It's because, when we finish a training, that's a question we always ask is what'd you learn? What was your takeaways?
Yeah,
And the reason you do that is because other people will get light bulb moments for them when they hear somebody else's takeaways. Putting
definitely.
that into a review is brilliant because that's setting the expectation for somebody else of what they could potentially get by visiting the clinic or reading the book or following the blog, whatever the case may be, where you're leaving reviews. Um, that's
Well,
huge.
and I'll give you a specific example. I've had um, a few different people say to me just in person, God, your book changed my life. And those are big, big words. But sometimes in review form, that doesn't help because the person who's reading the review wants to know
Wow,
how,
that
you
was that's the
guys.
first thing that ran through my
And
head. Yeah.
so for me as an author and a practitioner, I'm like, oh my God, thank you for telling me that this changed your life. But how? Like, but I want to know exactly how. Like, what did that do for you inside of your life? Give me specifics.
That's
Um,
interesting because, like, when Jen Sincero wrote her book, You're a Badass and Making Money, it's one of the few books that I actually went and left a review on. Actually, no,
uh-huh.
I sent her a Twitter message, and which I don't typically do. I don't hardly play on Twitter at all. And I basically said, hey, your book changed my life. This was one of the pieces that helped me make the final leap to jump out and start my own business.
Yeah, there you go.
And she sent me a really nice message back. But if I would have left that as a review, that would have probably impacted somebody else a hell of a lot more than me just sending a tweet to her. I felt good because she responded to me, right? But and it was truthful. But
Yes.
having that in a review form would be huge, huge for that book and for others, going through that book that are maybe looking on the brink of making that decision.
Well, and that's it, because the people reading reviews and testimonials are thinking, oh, well, if that could happen for that person who looks like a normal person to me, then for sure it could happen for me. And that's what gets them excited and excited enough to maybe purchase the book or contact the person for whatever the service is.
Yeah, it's huge.
So just remember, anybody who's out there who hasn't been up to their review and testimonial game in terms of giving them, challenge yourself. This is gratitude energy. So it behooves you. So how about, instead of writing in your gratitude journal this week, you guys, you actually pick 1 or 2 people and you write them a note. And you can even just write them an email or a note, and you could put at the end of it, if you would like to use these words as a testimonial, feel free to do so.
Love
It
that.
could even just be a personal note about it, right? So man, take your gratitude practice up a notch this way, and you will see this will magnify everything.
Oh, that's huge. That's huge. And logical as well. I love that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, this has been a killer episode, Laura. I really, really appreciate you, because it makes me more comfortable in this whole review game, which I need a little help with. So seriously, thank you for that. So guys, if you got any value out of this episode, do us a favor and share it with at least one person and tell them to check this show out. We really appreciate, all the people that are listening now. And if you could leave us a review wherever you listen to podcasts.
Speaking of reviews.
As you hear, I mean, it really does a lot for the shows, and it really lets other people know that this is something they should be listening to. It would mean the world to us.
Awesome. And if you guys want to take everything up another notch, you want to play a little bit harder with us in the online mastermind and learn about all the other things we're doing, visit yourhighvibebiz.com for all of that badassery.
Awesome, guys. We'll catch you next episode.
See ya.